Hey guys, it's Catfish here again and welcome back to my channel. In my last video, I talked about AR muzzle velocity. So you have the data right here in this top area right here. And you know from my last video, you saw that the FAMAS had the fastest muzzle velocity here at 943. And then you had the Honey Badger, which is the slowest one at 669. Well, in this video, I'm going to do a bit of a different format. We have a lot of data to go through. I'm going to skip the methodology because, I already covered that in my other video. And I'm going to go off script and just kind of tell you how I feel about each of these guns as I talk about each of their muzzle velocity. So a bit of a different kind of video format, but I hope it goes well. So let's kind of go through the DMRs first. So each of these kind of grids, I kind of group the weapons by, weapon class. So you can kind of compare each weapon with other weapons within the same type. So you can see like the Mini 14 is the fastest DMR bullet. It goes just over 1 kilometer a second, 1,005 meters per second, which makes it an incredibly easy weapon to use if you're like leading targets. If you have trouble leading targets using bolt actions, or let's say you're doing a peak battle with someone, your bullet will always reach them first before their bullet reaches you. Now, the MK14, surprise to nobody, it's an airdrop DMR, so it's going to have a little bit more muzzle velocity over other DMRs. Now, QBU being just over 900 is a bit of a surprise to me, but, I guess not really. I mean, it's a 5.56, so 5.56 bullets always traditionally go faster than 7.62, so you'd expect almost every 5.56 DMR to go over 900. MK14 is an exception because, again, it's like a airdrop weapon, right? MK12 MK12 going 870 being the slowest 5.56 DMR and pretty much essentially going almost, in fact, it actually goes slower than some AR speeds. It doesn't do this weapon any justice. It doesn't help make it any more appealing to use. MK12 is already one of the worst weapons in the game, actually. It's like one of the lowest damages. Let me see. Yeah, it only does 46 damage, which is actually even lower than some AR damage. Like you can see AKM does 47. So it doesn't do the damage. It doesn't have the fast bullet. It doesn't fire very quickly. Like, why would you ever use an MK12 when, guns like the SKS are even more common? SKS and SLR almost does the same, has the same bullet speed as the MK12, or just around 870. Not bad, not bad. VSS, obviously, because it's a 9mm subsonic round, it goes, under 400 meters a second, goes 327. So that's going to be the slowest one. It's fully automatic. It's a very niche weapon. It's the quietest gun in the game. I believe that under 75 meters, you literally cannot hear it. So what I mean is, if you're an enemy and you're outside of 75 meters of a person shooting at you with a VSS, it's the quietest gun in the game, and you can't hear it. All right, now down to light machine guns. Now, this one was a bit interesting for me. It's like all over the place, right? You have the M249 going over 900. So, I mean, typically what you'd expect is that, like, around 700 to 800 is like a good rifle round. 900 and above is like a very good rifle round. Typically 1,000 and up are reserved for like really high performing bolt actions like AMR. Now under 400, like, around 400 is like a very high performance pistol caliber round, and around half 300, like 350-ish, it's like an average pistol round. And anything under that is probably things like crossbows and stuff like that. So for M249 to go for 900 is a very high performing rifle round, which means it is actually doable to use this as a DMR, a 150 round DMR if that's how you're going to use it. MG3 going around just around average of AR speed, not surprising to me. DP28 going 614, now that is very surprising for me. That is even slower than the Honey Badger. That means you are almost on the cusp of like in between ARs and SMGs. Still closer to ARs, but like, man, that is a really slow round. Okay, now you have the pistols, and this is what I was talking about. You can see like a very high performancing pistol round will go just around 400. You have the P92 and P18C. P18C going that fast that's great. I mean, I love to use the P18C in TDM. It's essentially a mini Uzi and used by a skilled player because it has also just happens to be one of the best hip fire chest accuracy in the game. like 117% accuracy, which means you are guaranteed to hit shots at 5 meters. You know, having that fast of a bullet, that's going to help you score those headshots. So yeah, that's good. Scorpion, just a bit slower. In fact, all these Scorpion, most of these guns are just around mid 300s. The only two exceptions are like Desert Eagle and P1911. Now, Desert Eagle, you know, you can expect it going slower. It's a big old 50 AE round. But man, P1911, that's a bit of a disappointment. P1911 is actually one of the fastest killing pistols. You can see right here, if you tap fast enough, its practical DPS is just over 500, which is like quite a lot more than even like the P18C, which is fully automatic. Almost like a full 25% more like DPS. But I guess this is just a balancing factor, giving it the slowest muzzle velocity. Like, you can kill fast, but your bullets are not going to reach there in time. All right, next up we got the shotguns. Now, shotguns are interesting because they pretty much perform like SMGs, like pistol caliber rounds. I mean, that's essentially what a shotgun is, right? It's like firing 9 pistol rounds at the same time at an enemy. The NS2000 slug mode goes a little bit over 400. Now, surprisingly to me, the S1897 is just exact like 400 flat. That is great. So it's a high performancing pistol round. Now the S686 also just under 400, so I consider that pretty high performancing. And then everything else is pretty much just mid 300. So just like the SMGs, just like the pistol calibers. So yeah, speaking of SMG, you can see right here, the fastest SMG bullet is MP5K. So not exactly close to 400, but it's a bit faster. You have, you know, MP5K, Bison, and the Vector going pretty quickly. So I guess that age-old debate of whether the Bison is better than the UMP, this is 1 point for the Bison, I guess. UMP is a pretty standard, you know, just like around like just like right there in the average, 360, not good, not bad. Tommy started to get slower, and to my surprise, the Uzi and the P90 are the slowest SMG bullets. So not a good thing for the Uzi. And then finally we have the sniper rifles. To my surprise, the AMR goes 1,212 meters a second, making it the fastest bullet in the game. That was a huge surprise to me, because for a long time the Mini 14, which goes 1,000, just over 1,000 meters a second, was the fastest bullet in the game. Now that the AMR is here, it takes the crown for the fastest bullet in the game. That is crazy. 1,200 meters a second. That means from the distance of like in this clip here, for me shooting from here to all the way that mountain, it would take, since that distance is 500, it will take like just like under half a second to reach there. That's crazy. That's just crazy to me. AWM 900, so again, it's a high performancing rifle round. And then every other bolt action kind of surprises me as just being average. Like, they're not, you'd expect them to do more than ARs, but no, not really. I mean, the M24 does the exact same muzzle velocity as like the M4, so I guess people who are really used to leading shots with M4s would be really good with M24, I guess. Kar 98 being a little faster than Mosin Nagant is 1 more point for Kar 98 being the better version. Because you can see, you know, there's an age-old debate of whether the Kar 98 or the Mosin is better. Kar 98 has more chest damage than Mosin Nagant, more headshot damage than Mosin Nagant, and I believe it also fires faster too. Let me check. Okay, let's see. Seconds per bullet. Yes, so it takes 1.5 seconds to reload, whereas the Mosin Nagant takes 1.8 seconds to reload. So, and on top of that, the Kar 98's bullet is faster. So there's literally no reason to use a Mosin Nagant if you have a Kar 98. It's better in every way. The Kar 98 is better than the Mosin Nagant in every way. All right. And then you have the Winchester 94, which, you know, because it's one of those really niche Western weapons with a very unique 2.7x scope that you only find on one map, by the way. Yeah, it has a really bizarre muzzle velocity, you know, about 7.62 AR speed. And then you have the really niche weapons, the crossbows. Now, the tactical crossbow surprises me. Being at around 500 meters a second is a very bizarre speed. It's a speed that really nobody is used to, because like you either use like a UMP that's around 300 or you use an AR that's around 800. Being right in the middle kind of forces you to kind of relearn how to lead targets. But then again, tactical crossbow only shows up on one map. It's a very niche weapon. You probably will never see it. You probably will never use it because, you know, why would you when you have bolt actions, right? But yeah, just want to throw that out there. It's around 500. It's a very bizarre muzzle velocity. It's probably the hardest one to use because it's just so bizarre and you can't really apply any other weapon skills and transition that to this weapon. And then you have the crossbow, probably the slowest bullet in the game. I shouldn't even say bullets, a projectile, right, in the game. 163. I mean, that's a third the speed of even the slowest. Let me see, what is the slowest bullet? Okay, well, you know, it's about half the speed of the slowest pistol caliber bullet. So P1911 is 252. This is 163. So just about half. And that's pretty much it. If I were to rank every weapon by muzzle velocity, so across every class, so this is the fastest bullet ranked, so across every weapon in the game, ignoring weapon type, you got AMR first place, Mini 14 second place, MK14 third place, and then you have the high performancing, so you know, obviously these first three are like sniper rifles, either oh, you know what's interesting? All three of these are automatic sniper rifles, as in they're not bolt action. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy? That it just so happens that these three are like kind of like DMRs in a way. I know that AMRs technically count as a bolt action, but you know, because you don't have to exit your scope and then, you know, load a bullet in and then, you know, put another and fire another shot, I count it as a DMR, even though, you know, technically it's counted as a sniper. So if you ignore the single tap weapons, it kind of looks like FAMAS and M249 are the best performancing, like fully automatic weapons in the game. Man, I might have to look into the M249. Now, obviously, the FAMAS is an airdrop, so you got to give it credit. But M249, I might have to look into using this weapon as a DMR. Would be funny. Would be a great content. And then all the way at last place, you know, first to last place is crossbow, then the P1911, then the Desert Eagle, and then, you know, you jump from around 200 straight to 300. So after you get to 300, you really can't say this is like fourth to last place because there's a bunch of guns that are around 300s. You know, there's all these guns that are 300. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, you have a lot of guns around the 800s. Yeah, again, like I said, the tactical crossbow going just mid 500 is super bizarre because you can see like the pistols around 300 to 400, and starting from 600 to 800 you got like the rifle caliber rounds. Anyways, that's pretty much it. If you like this kind of content, you're feel free to join my Discord. It's a science research community. They help me, people in this Discord server help me out with my research. They're part of my clan. We use science like this to make the best decisions in game. So now that we know that M249 has such a fast bullet, if you have nothing else, you can perfectly well slap a 6x on the M249 and use it as a sniper. So actually, how much damage does it do? 40? Not good. So yeah. Anyways, see you guys.